Hello, my name is Ryan. I'm the founder of Varify, and I'm here to show you our mold test kit. You're likely here because you scanned the QR code or you stumbled across this page before using your mold test kit. And this video will cover what's inside the product, the 3 ways to test with this product, and how to read your results. So starting with what's in the kit, we have our petri dishes. These are pre-filled with agar, and this kit comes with 6 of them. Sterile swabs, gloves, numbered labels, the instruction booklet, a record chart to record your results, and then bags to dispose of the petri dishes. So getting started on this test, it's really important that you wash your hands first. And also the gloves are optional, but they are recommended if you're going to be working in an area that you suspect has mold. So it's really important that you don't touch the gel inside of these petri dishes. You also want to make sure not to touch the inside of the lid or the tip of the swab. So each of these preventative measures are to prevent contamination, which is the number one thing that could ruin this test and skew the results. So a quick note on timing of this test. The 6-pack of petri dishes are sealed in an air vacuum seal. Once that seal is opened, we ask that you use all 6 tests in that same day. That's the only way that we can guarantee freshness and an effective test. So ideally decide which rooms/spots you want to test before you open the petri dishes. So getting started with our test, the first thing you want to do is label your test. So you have the 1 to 6 or 1 to 12, depending on the size of your kit. And first you'll want to take the numbers and label each petri dish. If you're running 6 tests, then you'll label them 1 to 6. So dish 1, dish 2, dish 3. And then on the record chart, that's where you'll write in the test method and the location tested corresponding to the number that you put on that petri dish. I know this doesn't seem that useful in the moment, but 4 days later, once you have waited for a while, you'll be happy that you recorded these results. Makes it a lot easier to compare 4 days later. So starting with test method number 1, the air test. So for this, first you'll want to take a petri dish and place a dish in the room that you want to check. So you'll put it on a flat surface. You're going to take the lid off, leave it open for 1 hour, sitting flat like this. And then after 1 hour, put the lid back on and set it aside. So that's the entirety of that test. Pretty simple. Method number 2 is the HVAC test. This tests what your AC and heating system is circulating. For this one, you'll need painters or duct tape, which is not included. You can tape the dish with the gel facing the vent to the vent furthest from the main unit of the AC. So you'll take the lid off and then put the petri dish with the open side facing into the vent and then tape it onto that vent. And ideally close your other vents and put the fan on high to direct all of the air to this central spot. And you're going to do that for 10 minutes. So close vents, fan on high, and tape to vent for 10 minutes. This petri dish will collect everything coming from that vent. And then after that, put the lid back on and test is complete. Method number 3 is the surface test. This you can use when you can see something suspicious, such as a dark spot, discoloration, fuzz, anything like that. What you're going to do is swab the spot that you see that discoloration, and then you'll go ahead and zigzag it across the gel. Now you don't want to go too hard. You do it with light pressure. You're not aiming to actually puncture the gel. So after you've done a zigzag, you're going to replace the lid. Boom. And now this test is complete. So those are the three methods of collecting your sample. Once you've collected the sample, whether it's by air, HVAC, or surface, you'll now have to wait. So it's important that during this waiting incubation period, the tests are left at room temperature, out of direct sunlight, and the lid stays on the entire time. So don't open the lid, which could cause contamination or new spores coming into this. It's fine to pick it up and look through it, but make sure to keep it closed to prevent contamination. Growth can show in 48 hours, but please wait the full 4 days. If there's nothing growing by day 4, there's no mold detected. But make sure to wait the 4 days to confirm your results. Okay, so you've waited the 4 days. Now we're moving on to reading your results. There are 4 different levels that you can see in your instruction booklet: no growth, light, moderate, and heavy. With no growth, it's going to look like this petri dish. Light has a few small spots under 1/2 inch. Moderate has spots or streaks covering 10 to 25% of the dish. Anything over this is now considered heavy. Dense, more than 25%, is worth a professional opinion. We're happy to direct you guys in the proper place to get a professional opinion. Booklet has photos of the 7 most common household molds. So you can look at this identification booklet to compare your results and identify mold. We include the 7 most common molds in there. So color alone does not mean it's dangerous. Don't diagnose solely based on color. If you have black mold grown, mold that is colored black, it's not necessarily the infamous stack black mold. So we recommend using texture, color, and the best of your ability to match this mold result to the instruction booklet. So moving on to disposal. Once you are complete with the test, don't open the dish, keep it closed, and then you're going to go ahead and seal it in a disposal bag, and then you'll throw this in the trash. The same goes for any unused petri dishes. All petri dishes should be disposed of in these sealed bags. This prevents any mold spores from going out into the environment. So if you guys want, you can submit a photo on this page for a second opinion. We do have a team member who is CRMI certified to inspect mold. So we'll be happy to provide some added insight on what your mold test result means and try and help you identify your mold results. We ask that you wait the full 4 days to send us photos so that we can have the most accurate representation of your mold result. And make sure that the dish is closed. You're shooting the photos straight down, no flash, and include the record chart because that gives us added context. So thank you for choosing Varify to test for mold. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions related to our product or related to mold in general. Thank you.